I think I married the most incompetent person on the planet. I need to vent because I'm losing my mind here. My husband has the problem-solving skills of a houseplant, and I'm not even sure the houseplant wouldn't do better in a crisis. Let me paint you a picture of what my daily life looks like. Our 9-month-old baby spikes a fever in the middle of the night. I'm in panic mode, grabbing the thermometer, checking symptoms, preparing medicine, and what's my husband doing? Sitting on the couch, scrolling through YouTube videos like he's waiting for someone to hand him a script for How to Be a Parent, episode 47. He doesn't take initiative, he doesn't spring into action, he just sits there, waiting for me to tell him what to do, every single time. Need to drive somewhere new? But babe, I don't know how to get there. My guy, we live in the age of GPS. Your phone literally talks to you and tells you where to turn. But somehow, that's still too complicated without me holding his hand through it. Here's the kicker, though. The thing that's really driving me up the wall right now? Our baby is self-weaning. She hates the bottle, screams, pushes it away, makes it crystal clear she's done with it. This has been going on for 2 weeks, and what does my brilliant husband do? Keeps trying to shove the bottle in her face every single time. I've told him, I've explained it, I've shown him alternative methods. His response? It's just a habit. A habit. Our child is communicating her needs, and he's on autopilot because thinking is apparently too much effort. But wait, there's more. Any change to our family routine sends him into a complete spiral. It takes him weeks, sometimes months, to adjust to something new. We adjusted our morning schedule because of the baby. He's still confused about it 6 weeks later. It's like his brain can't process new information. There's no flexibility, no adaptability, just this rigid confusion that I have to manage around constantly. And God forbid anything happens last minute. Our teenager wants to make plans with friends. Normal teenage behavior, right? Nope. Too spontaneous for him. He acts like we're asking him to calculate rocket trajectories on the spot. We have house cleaners coming the same day. He's stressed, he's upset, he needs more warning. My dude, they're coming to help us. Why is this a problem? Here's where it gets even better. And by better, I mean infinitely worse. This man is arrogant as hell. Somehow, despite being unable to navigate basic life tasks without a step-by-step instruction manual, he's convinced he's got it all figured out. And his ego is wrapped up in some seriously outdated, misogynistic nonsense. So when things go wrong, when his lack of planning or basic common sense creates a problem, who do you think gets blamed? That's right, me. Everything circles back to being my fault. I didn't remind him clearly enough, I didn't plan well enough, I didn't accommodate his needs. Never mind that I'm juggling a baby, a teenager, a household, and apparently a fully grown man who needs more hand-holding than our 9-month-old. I don't have a partner. I don't have a teammate. I have a third child who can vote and drive, but can't figure out how to learn something new without me teaching him like he's in kindergarten. Oh, but the personal hygiene situation is a whole other nightmare that I haven't even gotten to yet. This man insists on sleeping completely naked every night. Now, I'm not a prude, but here's the thing. He has the gastrointestinal system of a malfunctioning wind turbine. He passes gas all night, all over my clean quilts and comforters. Do you know how disgusting it is to wash bedding constantly because your grown adult husband can't be bothered to wear even basic underwear to bed? And it gets worse. He has a recurring yeast situation that he absolutely refuses to address, won't go to the doctor, won't get treatment, won't even acknowledge it's a problem. Meanwhile, our intimate life has completely tanked because I am not dealing with that. He acts confused about why I'm not interested, like it's some great mystery. My guy, basic hygiene isn't optional in a relationship. Oh, and the feet. The feet. He has a fungal situation happening with his feet. Does he treat it? Of course not. That would require initiative. Instead, he wears these disgusting slippers and leaves them directly in front of every single doorway in our house. The bedroom door, the bathroom door, the kitchen threshold. Every day, multiple times a day, I trip over these things. Every day, I move them. Every day, they're back in the exact same spots. I've asked him to put them away. I've asked him to treat the foot issue. I've explained why it's a problem. Nothing changes. It's like talking to a wall, except a wall might eventually absorb some water and learn something through osmosis. I swear to God, the next time I trip over those slippers, they're going straight into the trash. I don't even care anymore.
I am disgusted, I am resentful, I am annoyed every single minute of every single day. I look at him and I don't see the person I married. I see someone who has completely checked out of being an equal partner. Someone who coasts through life expecting me to manage everything while he scrolls through his phone and waits for instructions like an NPC in a video game. I'm exhausted, I'm angry, and I feel so alone in this marriage because I'm essentially running this entire household by myself while he takes up space and creates more problems than he solves. I don't know what to do anymore. I just know I can't keep living like this. Related comments. Girl, I felt every word of this in my soul. My ex was exactly like this. The waiting for instructions thing killed me. Like, sir, you're 35 years old. Figure it out. The worst part was he acted like I was being controlling when I'd get frustrated. No, dude, I'm not controlling. I'm exhausted from being your mother and your wife at the same time. The naked sleeping thing with the gas, though, I actually gagged reading that. That's beyond respectful. That's just nasty. You deserve so much better than this. Have you thought about couples therapy? Although honestly, it sounds like he needs individual therapy first because he clearly has some deep issues with basic adulting. Comment. I mean, I get that you're frustrated, but some of this seems pretty fixable if you actually sit down and have a serious conversation instead of just stewing in resentment. Like the slippers thing, just throw them away if it bothers you that much. The bottle feeding, take that task over completely if he can't adapt. The health stuff is concerning and yeah, he should address it, but the rest kind of sounds like you're mad he's not reading your mind. My husband and I had similar issues early on and we had to learn to communicate differently. Some people genuinely don't notice things the way others do. Doesn't make them idiots, just means you need to find a better system. Also, calling him the dumbest person alive is pretty harsh. Would you want him talking about you like this online? Info. How long have you guys been together? Was he always like this, or did it get worse after the kids? Because if this is new behavior, it could be depression or something else going on mentally. The not wanting to learn new things and the rigidity around schedule changes kind of sounds like it could be undiagnosed anxiety or even autism spectrum stuff. I'm not trying to armchair diagnose, but my brother is like this, and it turned out he had severe anxiety that made any deviation from routine feel impossible. Also, has he actually seen a doctor about the yeast thing? Some people are really weird about medical stuff and avoid it because of embarrassment or fear. Not excusing any of this, by the way, just wondering if there might be more to the story. Comment. Oh, honey, I divorced a man like this 3 years ago, and it was the best decision of my entire life. Mine used to do the GPS thing, too. We'd be going somewhere, and he'd just not look up directions, and then act helpless when we got lost. The learned helplessness was insane. And the misogyny on top of it all, that's what really got me. He'd fail at basic tasks, but still somehow feel superior to me. Make it make sense. The thing that finally pushed me over the edge was when our daughter was sick and he called me at work to ask what temperature was considered a fever. Bro, you have a smartphone. Our kid is 6 years old. You've been a parent for 6 years. Figure it out. I'm not saying divorce is the answer for you, but like, life is so much easier when you're only responsible for yourself and your kids, not a whole adult man who acts like a teenager. Comment. Gonna get downvoted, but whatever. If you hate him this much, why are you still there? This whole post reads like you have zero respect or love left for this man. You're disgusted by him physically, you think he's stupid, you resent everything he does. That's not healthy for either of you or your kids. Kids pick up on this stuff more than you think. I grew up with parents who clearly couldn't stand each other, and it messed me up. Either go to marriage counseling and actually try to fix things, or leave. But this level of contempt isn't sustainable, and it's not fair to anyone involved, including him. Yeah, he sounds frustrating, but you're literally calling him the dumbest person alive on the internet. That's pretty cruel, honestly. Comment. Okay, so first of all, your feelings are completely valid. Living with weaponized incompetence is absolutely maddening. But here's what worked for me in a similar situation. I stopped doing things for my husband entirely. Baby has fever? I'd say, you handle it, and physically leave the room. Wouldn't give instructions, wouldn't supervise, just let him figure it out. First few times were rough, but he eventually learned. For the hygiene stuff, though, that's non-negotiable. That's a fix this, or I'm sleeping in another room permanently conversation. The yeast thing, especially, that can literally affect your health too. He needs to see a doctor yesterday. The misogyny part is harder to fix because that's a values issue, not a skills issue. That might require serious professional help or honest evaluation of whether this marriage is worth saving. You shouldn't have to live like this. You really shouldn't. Write what you think about this story, and we'll move on to the next one. I was just told I was the practice kid, and my entire childhood suddenly makes sense. I'm 28 years old, and last weekend, my mom casually dropped a bomb on me that's been replaying in my head every single day since. We were having dinner, just a normal Saturday evening, nothing special, when out of absolutely nowhere, she laughed and said something I'll probably never forget. You know you were our practice kid, right? We didn't know what we were doing with you. We got it right with your brother. She said it like it was the punchiest joke she'd ever told, like I was supposed to laugh along. But I just sat there, fork halfway to my mouth, completely frozen. She didn't even seem to notice the look on my face before moving on to talk about something else entirely, like she hadn't just reframed my entire existence in one sentence. Here's the thing. I've spent years in therapy, years trying to figure out why I've always felt like I was running on a treadmill, sprinting as hard as I could, but never actually getting anywhere. Why nothing I did ever felt like enough, why I constantly second-guessed myself, why I struggled with this gnawing sense that I was fundamentally lacking something everyone else seemed to have figured out. And now, in one offhand comment, my mom just handed me the answer on a silver platter. My brother is 25, 3 years younger than me. Growing up, I always knew things were different between us, but I told myself it was just because I was the older kid. Older kids get the short end of the stick sometimes, right? That's just how it works. Parents are stricter with the first one, looser with the second. Standard birth order stuff. But now, I'm looking back, and it wasn't just about being older. It was about being the trial run. My brother got new clothes every school year. I'm talking fresh sneakers, jackets that actually fit, jeans without patches or faded knees. Me? I wore hand-me-downs from cousins I barely knew. Shirts that were too big, pants that were too short. I remember kids at school making fun of my shoes once, these beat-up sneakers that were probably 2 sizes too small. And when I told my mom, she said I needed to toughen up and stop being so sensitive. My brother got a tutor when he struggled with math in middle school. I failed a test in 5th grade and got grounded for not applying myself. No one asked if I needed help. No one sat down with me to figure out what I didn't understand. I was just supposed to figure it out because that's what I should be able to do. My brother went on family trips, real ones, not just driving 3 hours to visit relatives. They took him to theme parks, to the beach, on a trip out west to see national parks when he graduated high school. I got a card and $50 when I graduated. I didn't even get a cake. When my brother wanted to try guitar lessons, they signed him up immediately and bought him a decent guitar. When I wanted to try something, anything, it was always, "We'll see," or "Maybe next year," or "We can't afford that right now." But somehow, 3 years later, they could afford whatever my brother wanted. I used to think I was imagining it, that I was being dramatic or holding on to some kind of sibling rivalry that I should have outgrown. I convinced myself that my memories were skewed, that I was remembering things worse than they actually were. But my mom just confirmed it. She literally admitted that I was the kid they didn't know how to handle, the one they messed up on, the rough draft before the final copy. And the worst part, she thought it was funny, like it was this lighthearted, quirky little family story she could just toss out over dinner, like it wouldn't completely shatter the way I see my entire childhood. I didn't say anything in the moment. I didn't know what to say. I just nodded, forced a smile, and changed the subject. But I left that dinner feeling like I'd been hollowed out. I've been sitting with this for days now, and I keep circling back to the same question. Did they even want me? Or was I just the placeholder kid, the one they had because that's what you're supposed to do, and then they figured out how to actually be parents by the time my brother came along? I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if I should bring it up with her or if that would just make things worse. Part of me wants to confront her, to ask her if she has any idea how much that comment hurt. But another part of me thinks she'd just brush it off again, tell me I'm being too sensitive, that I'm overreacting. Maybe I am overreacting. Maybe this is just one of those things I need to let go. But right now, it doesn't feel like something I can let go. It feels like the missing piece I've been searching for my whole life. And now that I've found it, I almost wish I hadn't.
Related comments. Honestly, this hit way too close to home. I'm the oldest of 4, and I literally watched my parents evolve with each kid. By the time my youngest sister came along, they were completely different people. She got therapy when she was anxious. I got told to stop being dramatic. She got a car for her 16th birthday. I had to buy my own at 19 while working 2 jobs. The difference was insane. What your mom said wasn't a joke. It was the truth, and she just didn't realize how cruel it sounded out loud. You're not overreacting. That would mess anyone up. I'd honestly recommend bringing it up in therapy and maybe writing her a letter explaining how that comment made you feel. She needs to understand that her joke confirmed something you felt your entire life. Comment. I mean, I get that it stings, but isn't this kind of just how it works? Parents do learn as they go. Nobody's born knowing how to raise kids perfectly. My older sister always complains about the same stuff, but yeah, our parents were 23 when they had her and 30 when they had me. Of course things were different. Maybe your mom shouldn't have phrased it that way, but it sounds like she was trying to be honest in a lighthearted way and it came out wrong. I don't think she meant to hurt you. Have you ever actually told her how you felt growing up? Because if you never said anything, she might genuinely not know how different your experiences were. Comment. Dude, my dad literally told me the same thing when I was in my early 20s. He said, yeah, we had no idea what we were doing with you. You were the experiment. And he laughed. Just straight up laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. I didn't talk to him for 6 months after that. Eventually, we worked through it, but it took him actually apologizing and acknowledging that what he said was messed up. Your mom needs to understand that this isn't funny. It's not a cute family anecdote. It's something that shaped your entire sense of self-worth. Don't let this fester. Bring it up. Tell her how it made you feel. If she dismisses you again, then at least you'll know where you stand and can decide what kind of relationship you want with her moving forward. Comment. Wait, have you ever talked to your brother about this? Does he see the difference too, or does he think you both were treated the same? I'm curious because sometimes the younger sibling has no idea they were the favorite, and it can be really eye-opening for them. Also, does your mom have a history of saying hurtful stuff and passing it off as jokes? Because that's a whole pattern you might want to unpack. Comment. I might get downvoted for this, but I think you need to consider that your parents' financial situation might have been different when you were a kid versus when your brother was growing up. 3 years is a long time. Maybe they got better jobs, paid off some bills, had more disposable income by the time your brother needed things. Also, the tough love thing was way more common back in the day. A lot of parents from that era genuinely believed that being strict with the first kid was the right way to do it. I'm not saying it was fair, but it might not have been this intentional favoritism thing you're making it out to be. That said, your feelings are valid. And if this is something that's been eating at you, definitely talk to someone about it. Just maybe don't assume the worst about your parents' intentions without having an actual conversation with them first. Comment. This breaks my heart. The fact that she said it like a joke makes it so much worse. Like she has zero awareness of how her parenting affected you. And now you're left carrying all of this pain while she just moves on like nothing happened. You deserved better. You deserved parents who saw you as more than a rough draft. And I'm so sorry that you're only now getting confirmation of something you felt your whole life. That's not closure. That's just reopening the wound. Please talk to your therapist about this. And if you do decide to confront your mom, go in with zero expectations. People like that rarely take accountability, and I don't want you to get hurt even more if she doubles down or brushes you off again. Protect yourself first. Write what you think about this situation. Also, if you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell to receive notifications about the latest videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.